Hello YouTube, this is Dexter Nolan here with a brand new deck profile. I'm after coming from regionals with Stephen Dempsey here, who went X3, just missing the top cut. He played Masked Heroes, he played a pure build with the new support, and we're going to get straight into the profile, so show us what's up.
Right, so start off with we play 3 Shadow Mist, you have them, like naturally enough, it's heroes. Then 2 Bubble-Men, to complement your Shadow Mist, gives you a search, means you can more effectively OTK. And the one the OCL is because I found that the search, like having 2 card searches is grand, but then the 3rd Shadow Mist is dead, whereas if you have the 3rd one, the Neos just comes alive. Then we have Double Monk to get out Shadow Mist and get the ball rolling really. Then we played the Zephyros.
And Zephyros, how did he go today?
Well, to be honest with you, he's going to be cut. He did not do enough work. There was cute stuff he could do, like bounce back Venus Chains, but it wasn't optimal. Then to go with him we have an Armageddon Knight.
And Armageddon Knight, a lot of people don't play Armageddon, a lot of people do. What's your opinion on it? Sorry about that, guys. On a noisy train here. So Armageddon Knight, what's your opinion on Armageddon Knight?
At the minute he's good, but as soon as I get Blaze Man he's out. It was cool his interaction with Zephyros, but that was about it. And then to finish off monsters we have one Goblin Bird.
Okay.
He's going to be up, he's so good, he makes full monster hands OTKs with Bubble-Men. And that's the monster count. You have 11 monsters here. Right. Okay. So is there anything you'd cut? Would you prefer more monsters, less monsters? Is there anything you'd change around, even if it wasn't bad? Maybe it wasn't as optimal as you'd like it. Yeah, I would definitely cut the Armageddon Knight and the Zephyros. I would put in another Neos Alias. Found that the 3rd search off Shadow Mist helps, and I would also put in another 2 Goblin Birds, cutting throughout the spell line.
Okay, got it.
And then we go on spells.
Of course.
Triple Hero Lives. It's about getting a Dark Claw at the end of the day. Triple Rhoda. It's about getting out Darklaw. It's really good interaction because you can still roll it for your Goblin Bird, and then from there on you can special out your Shadow Mist if you have it in hand. And we have triple Mass Change and the 1 Mass Change 2.
Okay, about this. Mass Change is obvious because that's what the deck is about.
Yep.
Mass Change second. Obviously you do run some monsters that aren't heroes here that can be summoned off Mass Change second, get Darklaw from Armageddon Knight or whatever. How optimal was this? Did you find it dead, or was it just not as good, or was it better, or...?
I didn't see a lot now, but when I did, the brilliant play was with Goblin Bird into Dian, and then it helped you get out because it would search out the Dark Mist, or Shadow Mist even, and then from Shadow Mist you get the Mass Change, and then push again. So it accommodated loads of, not so much OTKs, but when poke damage was needed. So I found that Mass Change second really put in work, and it could go up to 2, to be honest with you. It's pretty damn good.
Makes perfect sense.
Then we play Double Lance.
Double Lance.
It's back row format really, some people say it isn't, but Fire Lake can sort of ruin your day when you're playing Darklaw.
And also, this card is, this deck is based around Darklaw, so protecting with Lance is probably one of the more important things.
Yeah, it's sort of like, you can sort of compare it to Bujins, Evil Swarm,
Protect the Castle. Yeah.
At the end of the day, Darklaw is sort of the win condition. Then, to continue with the back row disruption, play triple MST.
Yep.
Very simple, get rid of pendulum scales, all that sort of stuff. Then double Miracle Fusion. No need for 3 in today's meta, but it's still nice because it makes Ab-Zero, Shagging and SQR Dow just a handy card. Nothing else. If nothing else, it's just a big beater.
And like, what did you find yourself using most with this Miracle Fusion? Did you bring out Shining a lot? What was your go-to card that you summoned with it?
And whenever I didn't get Vanity's Emptiness, which was rare enough as it was, but it was always to do with Shining. I made Ab-Zero once. It was nice, but I got Castel, so that wasn't nice. However, and then Snatch Steal because Konami made it legal. That rounds up the spells, a lot of spells, but with Summoner Monk you need a heavy spell line up.
A lot of people have been saying Snatch Steal won't make as big an impact as the meta as it would suggest, being that it was such a broken card, everyone was going crazy about it. How did you find it impacted, at least in your game, stay in the regionals, and how did it make a difference? And sorry for the bumpy train ride, folks, it's we're obviously on the train, so...
Well, I found it to be incredible. If nothing else, in the clipart matchup you can put them back a turn by Robin, their sacrifice monster. That's just really good because it's fairly hard for them to get around their own monster with the sacrifice out, because it means they have to search it off Scout and search the monster as well. That does mean they have such good access to this. To get Spreading Abyss, Rob that day, and give a Dark Law. Dark Law. Yeah, if you have him on field, you can just use that effect, mill. Like, sometimes it's just good to mill in heroes because Shadow Mist, it means you have fodder for your Miracle Fusions, and for your Cold Haunted, which we'll get to in a minute. And that's all spells, so trap lineup.
Right.
Triple Phoenix Chain.
Quick on the Phoenix Chains. Earlier on you mentioned Zephyros being cute with its interactions with this card.
Yeah.
And I obviously understand that this card is very close in terms of usability with Breakthrough Skill. They're very comparable. A lot of people prefer one over the other. If you're cutting Zephyros, would you change your Breakthrough Skill or would you keep Phoenix Chain overall?
Oh, they're probably going to come out now. They were nice, but at the end of the day I would prefer actual cards. Like, they're good at stopping attacks, but to be honest with you, you shouldn't be worried about attacks. When you have Dark Claw on board, you should be able to control the game state.
Yeah.
You don't need to make bad plays. And then to go with them, we have the one called Haunted. Calls definitely get bumped up, because being able to search out multiple mass changes with the one mist really helps in the game. Because you only play 2 miracles now, you don't need to worry about banishing everything away. Recursion is the name of the game at the end of the day. Then we played Triple Mirror Force. The thinking behind this now was that Dark Law is banishing everything, so Mirror Force becomes a blanket Deepers.
A Deepers in on steroids. That makes perfect sense. At first I thought Mirror Force is not a very good card, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense with the Dark Law combination.
Granted, without Dark Law it is horrendous, but Dark Law's that deck, so we sort of have to keep him alive. And then we play Trio, no cards for Tribute.
Oh yeah, Torrential has been dropped to...
Torrential is just not good anymore. It's that sad day to say Torrential's not good, but it's like this, unless you can protect your Dark Law, which you can't indefinitely do, it's not that good. Then to finish off the traps, we have the 1 Vanities. 2 was lackluster because you were locking yourself out of plays. It's great having the board established, but until that point, it's sort of... it stops you more so than the other people.
So, whatever you're right in saying, you chose to run 1 because you never wanted to have more than 1 in your hand ever in any situation, and it wasn't so great that you were missing out and never having it. Like, for example, you need certain copies of cards like Mask Change, whatever, at 3 because it's just so vital to your thing. But Vanities isn't vital, and if it's in a couple players, you just don't want it. It's
that's it. Like, it's sort of it goes against what this deck does. I know that's the whole point of it.
Of course, it's a very good card, but obviously it doesn't have a lot of synergy with it.
Exactly. Like, besides Neo's Alias, the deck's just full of weenies, to be honest with you. Like, none of them are up to much. So it's just handy.
And last question on the main deck is, would you change anything around? I know I asked you about monster spells, whatever you'd cut, but would you change the ratios around? You run a lot of actually, never mind. You run a lot of spells in comparison to monsters, and a lot of monsters in comparison to traps. It's a lot of spells in this deck. Would you change it? Would you add more traps, more monsters, more spells? Would you change that around? I think it's actually pretty fine as it is.
Yeah, well, it's pretty fine, but to be honest with you, probably an E-Call or 2 just to get the Dark Law earlier.
Actually, that was a question I did miss out on. E-Call, I noticed it's not here. Would you add in an extra couple of 2? You'd add that consistency, or would you?
Because at the end of the day, it is Dark Law, that deck.
Yeah, okay, that makes perfect sense. Okay, so that's the main deck, 40 cards. Let's get on to this extra deck, which is obviously the main focus of a hero deck, because that's what Mass Change does. And you have Miracle Fusions, and pretty interesting to see this. Go on, Token, okay.
Play for the Matthew engine, play the Diane, Koga, Vapor, and double Dark Law, the main player deck.
Okay, questions on these. You said this deck is Dark Law deck, and I completely understand this card, because if you don't know what this deck does, it's so broken. It's just go look it up. It's insane. What about these guys, Diane, Koga, and Vapor? Did you summon those? Were they as useful? Did you find them lackluster? Were they amazing? What's your opinions on those guys?
Well, these two here, Koga and Diane, were amazing. Vapor, to be honest with you, in testing, we were trying out Acid, and Acid was just there's so many changeable back rows, sometimes you just don't want to get rid of it, and Vapor can't be destroyed by Hex. So it means that like it gets around some other things. It's 24, it's good enough. Like Acid's just it's a good more card, but like it's always cool. You can go Absolute Zero with Acid on board, like Absolute Zero into Acid with Dark on board. That's fairly game breaking, but it doesn't happen that often.
And I have a question now. Obviously this is a masked hero deck, Dark Law deck, as you said. In the future, going to another event, even if Acid is considered one more by you and you think this is a better, I believe Acid is a water target as well?
Correct,
Would you bring in Acid as well, considering that's the focus of the deck, or would you just still leave it out?
Well, having faced more Clifford's today than I thought I ever would my entire life, Acid probably will be sneaking its way into this extra deck somewhere or another. But for today, I was expecting Burning Abyss and Vapor is fairly decent against burn abyss, whereas Acid just makes them burn through their fire lakes and you just kill it.
Alright, and next up is these are the Miracle Fusion targets, I
Yeah,
assume?
and 5 of them, yeah. And
So-
because we do the double Miracle Fusion, we play the Skewer Dow for the dark target, Vapor for the water target, and Shining for the light target. It's fairly simple.
A lot of people know what these two do.
Yeah.
Skirdow is obviously, I can tell myself, is a lot weaker card. Obviously, has more targets than
Yeah.
Shadow Mist. Is it just run because it has more targets than Shadow Mist, so it's more live more often than the other?
Yeah, well, actually, when you talk about that, the interesting thing came up when I was able to make the Skewer Dow and I had Dark Law on board against a single Dante with a Shadow Mist and Grey. In that case, I was just able to attack over it because of the extra
26. Yeah,
Like, it's a little tiny boost, but
every little
especially
helps.
against Burn Abyss, yeah, exactly. Especially
Okay,
against Burn Abyss.
okay,
Like,
that makes sense.
and the other two were fairly self-explanatory. To be honest with you, rarely went to Dab Zero. Shining was just so good because it's Shining. It was just able to get over so many things. Like,
Yeah, it forces your opponent to banish or whatever to raise
Exactly,
resources on
it's
it.
like-
And if they don't, you get a bit back.
exactly, and the bid back you get in general is going to be a Neo Salis and a Bubble Man, so you're set up for rank 4 play.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
And yeah, that's all the fusions we run.
Yeah, perfect.
And rank 4s, Crazy Box.
Okay,
Skill
Crazy
Drain,
Box.
and he's actually surprising out because I'm able to roll dice fairly well. Who knew?
Well, also worth noting is when Skill Drain's active, which it is a lot in the Clifford matchup, this card can actually beat over anything.
Yeah.
Maybe not Killer, but Killer isn't really mained that much in
No, and anyways, if you see a killer, well,
Storm Scoop.
yeah, you're sort of screwed anyways.
But this guy can beat over Disc, unless it's a sacrifice Disc, which is 31, like you can beat over any base.
Yeah, he's a pretty big
Clifford.
beater. If nothing else, under Skill Drain, it's handy just to put him there in attack mode, let him chill for a few
Yeah,
turns,
okay,
because
that makes perfect
he's
sense.
not going anywhere. He means you can gather your resources to make that final push for game.
Okay.
Then for the rest of them we have Key Beetle.
Makes sense.
Key Beetle, just because its interaction with Armageddon Knight into Zephyros with a Bandy Zephyros set, whatever it may be, you can just somehow get that out, protect Bandy Zephyros, sort of like an Evil Swarm when you were protecting Castle. Then Blade Armor Ninja and Excalibur.
These guys are the OTK enablers, right?
Yeah, especially Excalibur. Whatever Blade Armor Ninja, Excalibur just sets up the Miracle Fusion straight away, which
Yeah,
is just
okay.
so handy. And we have Castell,
Okay, obviously.
fairly
that's
obvious,
understandable.
Exodon, the
Exodon.
exclamation, and then Cowboy,
Come,
because
pushing it in.
you can often end up coming up just a little bit short of game. Like, some of your pushes just end up just really close, but not quite enough. So Cowboy just, it's a good out, and then going into time, like, if you're against a deck, like, in time, you'd not want to make any pushes in case you leave yourself vulnerable. So Cowboy's just really interesting. Also, his effect is actually handy when he's in attack mode, like, it's
Yeah, I wouldn't have
interesting.
thought it would have been as good with options like these two for pushing major damage, but it's still something not to laugh at. Like, I mean, if you go for a Cowboy, push for a little bit of damage in defense, then next turn,
Yeah,
if they
you're
get
safe.
something.
It's a safe amount of damage. Like with
Yeah.
these two, granted, battle traps are at an all-time low because they're just not
Yeah.
as fast as they used to be. But still, they're susceptible to other things, and it's just it makes them less viable. And also,
Makes
if you do
perfect
have run that deep prison, chances are you're going to lose. With him, sit back, burn it for 1600. If you're really in time that much, you can probably stall out. Like due to cards we run in the main deck, such as Bandy's Emptiness and like some Mirror Force, chances are they're not able to make too many pushes if it goes into time, which
Yes,
so
okay.
often matches do. So just make sure matches just that much easier when you go into time.
Okay. So that's the deck.
Yeah, that's on deck.
You went X3 today, you had a few good matchups. What did you lose against?
Well, I lost against two Cliffords
Okay.
and a single Burning Abyss.
Okay.
Cliffords, they just Darklaw puts in work, but he can only get rid of one card out of their hand, and when they have multiple ways to search out, it's sort of lackluster. And then Burning Abyss, yeah, Regeki turn 1 again, like against the Darklaw was just game breaking. Like being able to establish the early board against Darklaw is the real way to beat it.
So this is Stephen Dempsey's Master Hero, so congratulations on the
Cheers.
top today, well, the near top today,
Near top,
X3, and peace out folks, sorry about the bumpy train ride, and we'll keep you updated.